Hello, folks. Hey, it's your host, Matt Morgan, and thanks for tuning in to Car Musings. Today is kind of probably going to be a shorter show, but just one that I'm trying to record. It's not my traditional mind slot. It's like later on in the day, about midday. But it's just got these thoughts bugging me in my mind and everything else, and so I figured I'd put them out there and talk to people about them and all that stuff like that. I don't know if it kind of goes hand in hand with our conversation the other day about, you know, the whole entitledness stuff, but still something along those lines of, you know, position in life or uh, status, I guess success level. I mean, it's really hard to narrow down exactly, but I find a lot of people put a really good song and dance on stuff, right? They present themselves to the way they want the world to see them without seeing the ugly side of them. It's kind of like, okay, we're going to show you the privileged side or the nice side, the business side, the professional side, the side that I want you to see. But there's still that ugly side of people that they keep submerged because they don't want people to think less of them or disrespect them or something along those lines. But I'll tell you, I would accept somebody a lot more exclusively if they genuinely showed me the ugly side. I mean, people might think that's weird, but I want to see the true self of somebody. I want to see the real. Don't give me the bullshit side of things. Show me the true self. So today's topic, I guess, would have to be, you know, be real. That's today's topic. Today's title is Be Real. Because I don't want to see the bullshit side, right? I don't want to see this facade. You know, my daughter annoys the crap out of me because she's downright mean and nasty and a whiner and crybaby and everything else when it comes to being at home. And her mom and I get to see all this. Great. But I respect her about the fact that she's at least being real. Now, when she's being fake, which we do catch once in a while, you know, that's a different story. Not so liking her at that point, but the thing is, you know, at least she's real. She is a whiner. She's privileged. She's grandbaby, everything else. And that's fine, whatever. But she works hard. So on the opposite side, I'm going to give her credits to the fact that she works hard in school. She works really hard. She's a good student. And the world wants that. They want the good grades. They want the certs. They want all that stuff. So she's going to be successful as far as that goes. Maybe not so successful in other areas of her life, but at least professionally, she will be professional and she will be successful. End of story. Now let's go back to, of course, being the real self. And I know I mentioned the word privilege. Um, I was really bothered today. I had to attend some learning conference from being presented by some successful people in the business I've got into. And I'm really fucking pissed off. First of all, if people think that this is still a thing, you get your fucking heads out of the asses, okay? Because it's not a thing anymore. Okay, you're gonna have to fucking deal with this. Okay? Deal with it. The reality is, there's no more white privilege. Fuck you and your white privilege. Because if there was white privilege, then that's real Canadian, buddy. Canadian flag off a freaking thing, and he's flipping the bird to somebody. Yeah, you're real Canadian, bud. Okay, so there's no more white privilege. Fuck you and your white privilege. Because if there was white privilege, I would not be hurting right now, suffering, trying to get an income, trying to get a job, and everything else. I am white as white fucking can be. I am whiter than white bread and whiter than rice, okay? I'm an Anglo-Saxon descent, for Christ's sake. Doesn't get much more whiter than that. Now, if you're going to tell me I'm fucking privileged, fuck you, all right? Because I ain't privileged. Not privileged at all. If I was privileged, I'd be having comfy freaking jobs lined up for me and I wouldn't be hurt. So fuck you and your white privilege. These two presenters, okay, fine. They're snowball white. That's fine, whatever. Well, one wasn't so much, but the thing is that fuck you and saying this because you're looking at a room that is filled with great tans, and I think you're trying to win the audience, and that's not truly being yourself. Okay? That's not truly being yourself. You're fucking putting on a facade just to gain the audience's friggin' approval. And to me, not cool. That's where you lost me. Up until that point, I watched these two presenters and I was just like, you know what? Wow. Awe-inspiring, motivational, blah, 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 blah. And then they started spouting on about, oh, white privilege. I'm like, fuck you and your white privilege. Like, it doesn't exist anymore. I'm sorry. We are the minority now. I'm going to hate to break it to you, but whites are the minority now. We are not the majority. And we don't get the breaks. We don't. We're not getting the breaks. We're not getting the opportunity. We are a dying breed. You know, oh, well, you've had it good for a while. Not all of us have. So, you could just kiss my frickin' rosy little ass thinking that that's the way it is. Because that's not the way it is. I am not sitting pretty in my white privileged ways, you know, as much as you think I am. And I'm genuinely true, honest, and everything else in who I am. That's never changed, okay? I will say, and that's probably why I've been disliked, because I'm friggin' straight and honest. I'm genuinely who myself. And it's funny because some of these presenters are mentioning it today that about, oh, be who you are. Yeah, well, you know, you had me up to a certain point that you were acting who you were until I saw the other shoe drop. Not so much now. So, I am who I am. That's probably why I'm not so popular. Right? I don't play that fucking game anymore. I did when I was younger and a teenager and immature. That's fine. I did that at that point. But I stopped doing that eventually because I was like, you know what? This is stupid. Where are you going? Can you not read? Like, are you a moron? You're a moron. Okay, you're a moron. It says right there, don't turn. Anyways. Because the thing is that I'm genuine to a fault. And I'm observational. I see people for who they are. I see people's actions. I see all that stuff, right? Like, I see that. You can't turn there, dickheads. Like, are you mental? You can't turn there. You're mental. Jesus. So, hypocritical. Lying through your, I just, it bothers me, and this is why I had to share this today, because it freaking bothers me that people spout one thing and it's not truly them. Don't tell me you're freaking genuine. Don't tell me that crap when you start doing something completely opposite. It's just freaking annoying. So, be who you are. Be honest to who you are. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't bullshit. Eventually, we all see what's behind the curtain, and as much as you try to hide it, that, you know, you're just, your shit is freaking, you know, so clean and everything else, eventually we see it. And I saw it. I was disappointed because I was actually inspired, because I was like, oh, this is awesome. These people are filled with integrity and they're just genuine. And then I saw the other shit, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Yeah, and that just killed it right there for me. That just killed it right there for me. I was just not impressed with that. I was like, holy shit. Just when you think, maybe, just maybe, but no. Anyways. So that's been my day so far. I dressed up in the monkey suit. Got all prettied up. Shaved, showered, the whole nine. and it was a waste of time. Minimal acknowledgement from certain people. I guess I've outlived my worth. That's another thing that bugs me. You know, you're only as valuable as if you're benefiting some people. Otherwise, they freaking ignore you. Like, I can't. That's stupid having to live like that. Well, if you have no more value, I'm not going to pay you any attention. Don't fucking do that to me. You think I'm going to work my ass off just to get your approval? If anything, it makes me despise you even more. It makes me just not want to do anything. You know? You give me the respect and the time of day, I want to make you proud. I want to do something to, you know, show you that, you know, I'm worth the time and effort. Yeah, nobody's going to come rescue you. Okay, that's fine. Nobody's going to come rescue me. That's fine. I'll make other plans. I'll make other plans. You know? I'll make other plans. I'll figure it out. If you don't see the awesomeness for what I am, that's fine. Because I can be harvested. I can be nurtured. I can be harvested. I can be molded. But you have to, you know, see that potential. And if you're blind to not see that potential, fine. But if I see a level of bullshit come out of you at any point in those opening stages, I don't want to deal with you. I don't. I would not want to deal with you at that point. Because I've seen behind the curtain. I've seen the not true you. Or sorry, I have seen the true you. I've seen beyond the bullshit which you're giving everybody. So you can't let your guard down if you're trying to bullshit people. Or, oh, here's a neat idea. Just be your real self to everybody. You might get pegged as an asshole like me. Fine. You might not be liked. Fine. You might not be popular. Fine. But at least you're truly you. And nobody is going to be able to say, oh, well, they're this and this and this. And somebody else in another capacity says, oh, they're this, 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 and this. No, I want somebody to truly say, you know what? That Mad Morgan guy, yeah, he's an ass. Or he's a good guy. But it's consistent. It's consistent that everybody sees the same thing. That's what I want. That's what I want. Genuinely want that. I don't want this hypocritical bullshit, facades, fakeness, all that stuff like that. I want to be perceived the same across the board. That's my thing. Anyways, it just bugged me today. I was really happy about wasting 2-3 hours of my life going in and watching a presentation, and then just get frickin' blown out of the water at the end. And I wanted to say something, but yeah, it would just cause a lot more sour notes. And if there's any chance, snowball's chance that I'm actually going to be able to succeed in this line of work, I kind of have to build some alliances. But I wanted to step right up and go, what the fuck do you mean? White privilege. White privilege doesn't exist anymore, my friend. There's black excuses. There's friggin' bullshit this and bullshit that. And listen, if I had the communities and all that other bull crap that comes from the visual minorities, as they call them, or whatever they call them these days, I would be a lot more successful. Because I'd have those communities to build on. But my so-called white privileged ass, if I build a community, I'm called a fucking racist and a neo-Nazi. Like, so, fuck off. White privilege, my ass. Well, there's the true colors right there, or lack of. See what I did there? Yeah. The lack of true colors. I'm not racist. I've said this time and time again. But the thing is that I judge somebody by the asshole, how big of an asshole they are, right? So that's the way I do things. How big of an asshole you are, that's how I judge you. I don't by race, creed, whatever. I don't care about that. And race is another topic for another day. The good hand that you have, the religion that you follow, your creeds, your customs. I don't care about that crap. That's irrelevant to me. How big of an asshole you are, no matter what shade you come in, is basically how I judge you. Your actions, your integrity, your honesty, everything else that matters is what I judge a person by. Nothing else. Nothing else. Just be real. Be real and true. That's all I ask for. Anyways. That was my day so far, so that just was friggin' a waste. You know, when you build up, when you think, this is great, 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 this is where I should be, and then something just shows you that other side, and you're like, ah, oh, damn. Just when I thought it was so perfect, just when I thought it was the best place to ever possibly be on something. This is where I want to put my energies. This is where I want to put my time. And then all of a sudden, boom, the other shoe drops, and you're like, oh man, really? Or you look at that person and you go, oh man. But I think, I've been trying not to be so blinded by people, which I've experienced in the past. Putting people on such high pedestals. I've done that in the past. I told myself I'd never do it again. But, for years there, I was putting these people on freaking high pedestals. Some asshole named fucking Patrick, this guy named fucking Gang, like all these freaking people. I put these people on high pedestals, thought the world of them, thought they were just the best people ever, and then years down the road, when my life goes to shit, and you expect these people who said they called you their friend aren't there for you. Again, people not being truly who they are and presenting that to the world. All these faces, not putting on the faces. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. This is short and sweet. I don't know how long this went today, but it's just something I had to throw out there. Friggin' the start of a week, on Monday. Having to go through all this shit, having to deal with this, just, makes me regret putting on the suit. It really freaking does. Makes me regret putting on the suit. Wasting my time doing all this, But you got to do the dance because they're still giving me a paycheck. They stop giving me a paycheck to a certain point. I think it's at that point that I'm going to say bye-bye. Bye-bye. You're not paying me to put on the monkey suit. You're not paying me to come into these meetings. You're just not. So, I'm not going to do it. Oh, now I got to go home to a moody fucking period-spun freaking teenager. As freaking nasty as they want to be. And my wife who's crabby as they want to be. And my saving grace, which is my puppy. So, wish me luck. I can get out of this frickin' monkey suit and get down to my frickin' boxers. I can't wait for that. I'm your host, Matt Morgan. Thanks very much for tuning in. By all means, like, share, follow, all that stuff. I would appreciate it. Check out themadmorgan.com. I keep adding stuff to it, given the time, but, I'm pulling a whole bunch of different directions lately. Here, there, and everywhere. So, I don't know if I'm coming or going half days, but I do my best to keep that up to date. I know there's changes I have to make to that, but I'm going to get to that. By the time you hear this episode, hey, I probably will, because I've been recording so much of these that I'm actually, I think I got like a good month ahead. So when you're hearing this, it's like May 5th. This is when I'm recording this. I'm recording this May 5th, but, you're probably listening to it sometime at the end of June, maybe even July, who knows. All right. That's it. I'm gonna park in the car. That's one thing. As long as I'm in the car, I'm staying true to that. It's still car musings. I'm still, giving you the content when I'm out and about driving. So, all right. I will see you next episode. Until then, keep your integrity in check. Talk to you soon.